Welcome back, aliens. My name is Navin Reddy, and today we are going to talk about login using Servlet and JSP, practical part 2. In fact, I made the earlier video last year, and luckily I got good number of views on that video. And people were able to run this code and everything is working perfectly, but then with one particular issue. And that issue is when you click on logout and when you go back using back button, you can see the last page, which is the secure page. And this should not happen, right? Example, when you go to Facebook and when you click on logout, now when you click on back after going to Facebook, it will not show you the home page, right? It will go to login page automatically. How that works? Because if you see our code, in fact, I have written the same code in Eclipse now. As you can see, we have the code ready here. And what I will do is, okay, in fact, if you have not seen my first video, make sure that you watch this video because then it will make more sense. Otherwise, this will be what you say, a question mark video for you. So make sure you watch this video first. And in fact, you will find the link in description area and you can continue with this video then. Okay, so if I run this code, once again, if I say right click and run on server, okay, it's running on server. Now it will open my Firefox as a browser because that's what I've set in my Eclipse. So the moment you run this code, what's happening? Is it running? Or it's taking some time. So by the time it opens, let me open Firefox as well. And you can see in the Firefox, we have to navigate to login.jsp because that's where you have your things. We'll say login.jsp. In fact, before going for login.jsp, what I want to show is, I will say welcome.jsp. If I click on enter, you can see we got a login page because welcome.jsp and the videos.jsp, those are secure pages. If you want to go there, first you have to log in. So we'll say Telusko and L, and you can see this is one more issue. We are able to see the password. That's not a good way. And if I click on login, you can see we got the welcome page. Now if I click on videos here, you can see we got video link. In fact, I want to change this as well. We'll do that in some time. If I go back and if I click on logout, now we are logged out of the system, right? And if I click on the back button, can you see that? We are able to see the secure page. Now this is not a good thing, right? This is what you say, a security flaw. Now how to avoid this? So we'll do all these things in this video. First of all, let me change something. Let me change this password from L. I mean, instead of saying this password, let's make it dot. Now how do I do that? I will go to my Eclipse and I will say, hey, I don't want to see the password. So I will go to login.jsp and whenever you have text for the password, let's mention password because this will make sure that you cannot see the password. Okay, we can verify that if I refresh this page now, and you can see whatever password you type now, it will be in that dot format, right? Now you cannot see the password. If I press L, you can see we got dot. So we got our first thing. The second thing I want to do is, if you can see in the form tag, when you say form, if you don't mention the method name, it is by default get. And in fact, in Servlet as well, I'm using do get. Now, again, this is not a good practice. Whenever you send data from client to server, we have to make sure that we are using a post request because whenever you send data to the server, you should use post. Whenever you are fetching data from the server, you should use get. Now, in this scenario, post makes more sense. So first of all, I have to change this from do get to do post because I want to send a post request now. And in login.jsp as well, I will mention the method as post. So that's one more change which I had done here. So we got a post request and we are using do post there. So we have done two changes. The third change what I want to do is in this videos.jsp, instead of seeing that link, example, if I logged in here and what's wrong? Okay, we have to restart the server because I made some changes in the servlet. So let me just do that. Let's say restart the server. And if I go back to my browser, if I click on login now, oh, I forgot to enter the password. If I click on login, it's taking some time because the server is still getting restarted. What's wrong? I'm using a get request. Is it a get request here? Okay, this is a post request. That's perfectly fine. In login we got do post. What's wrong here? Let me just run this application. I don't know what is going wrong there. Okay, it's not able to fully restart the thing as well. Okay, it says HTTP method get is not supported by this URL. But why? we are using a post request. Everything is perfectly fine there. Okay, so this should be do post, and we got do post. Nothing else, nothing. Okay, so now sometime it happens, what you can do is you can clean your project just to make sure that everything is perfect. You also get some cache files in the in your Eclipse as well. Okay, so we have done with the cleaning, and now let's run this project once again. If I say run on server, restart the server, and let's verify. Okay, server is getting started, and I will go to Firefox just to verify everything is working. Let's refresh this page, and we have to call login.jsp. It will ask you for two things. Let's insert Telusko and password L, and if I click on login, oh, it's working perfectly now. I guess there's some issue with the temporary files. Okay, if I click on videos here, you can see we got the link. I don't want a link here. What I want is the video. The way you can do that is, okay, what's going wrong there is we have written the videos link as it is. This is not a good way. Instead of writing the link of the video, you should be using some embedded text. Now, from where you will get the embedded link? So if you go back to the video, and inside every video will have, in fact, on YouTube, every video will have this option of share. Now, if you click on share, there's the option of embed. Now, in this embed, if you just copy that embed link and paste it in your Eclipse, your job is done now. The moment you click on, the moment you paste it in JSP, if you save, let's go back to Firefox. Let's refresh this page. Now, instead of getting a link, you can actually watch a video. In fact, you can play this video and it will get play. And as you can see, it is getting played now. Okay, let's go back. So we have done all those changes. Now, the most important change, what we want is, okay, let me do that once again. The most important change is if I click on logout, if I click on back, this should not come. Now, first of all, before solving that issue, first understand why the issue is coming. The issue is there because, we have this awesome feature which is called as HTTP protocol. Now, HTTP protocol provides you lots of features. Example, session is provided by HTTP. We got cookies, and the most important part is cache. Now, cache is what makes your web browsing experience way faster, right? If you go to Facebook, if you go to YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. You can access all those pages as quick as possible because we do maintain the cache. Now, same thing is happening here. When I click on logout and when I go back, this is the page which you are getting here is a cached page. What I have to inform to my browser, hey browser, please don't cache these pages because these are secure pages. I don't want this to be cached. But how do you interact with your browser? Now, whatever you want to mention to the browser, you can do that with the help of headers. Now, every browser read headers as well. So how do you send a header that I don't want to save this page? Not just videos page, but also welcome page. Let's do that in the welcome page first. Now, the way you can do the way you can send the headers to the client is using the response object. So we can say response dot. There is a method called a set header. So you can send lots of data to the client. One of the method is set header. Now inside this, you have to mention two things. The first is the label. So what you're sending a label is you are sending a label for cache control. Now your browser understands what cache control is. You can pass your instructions here. Now, if you don't know what the instruction is, it's very simple. In double quotes, you have to mention no cache. Again, you have to by heart this because this is browser specific, or this is what you say. This is browser is something which a browser needs this thing. Okay, so we'll say no cache, no store, and you have to mention must revalidate for every action. I mean, every time you call this page, it should revalidate if it is logged in or not. I mean, whatever you want to check for the validation, right? So you just have to set the header as cache control, no cache, no store, revalidate. I will copy this code and let me just paste this in videos.jsp as well because I want it there as well. So what I will do is once we have done all the changes, let me restart the server. Okay, and if I go to Firefox and if I refresh this as well, now if I insert L and if I click on login, okay, it's happening. Something is happening behind the scene. Okay, you got your page. If I click on videos here, it's working perfectly. If I go back and if I click on logout now, so logged out successfully. If I click on back, can you see that we are not getting welcome.js page? That means it was not cached and your browser is not able to give you that welcome.js page. So this is what we want, right? When you click on logout, it should show login.jsp and it should not allow you to go back. Now this was one way. The another way is you can disable your back button, right? But then this is not a good way, because if you disable your back button, what will happen is it will give a user a bad experience, because no one wants to disable their back button. How dare you to do that, right? So no one will use your website. So this is one way. I mean, this is the best way, which is response.setHeader. Now the thing is, this perfectly works on HTTP 1.1, right? This protocol version supports this type of text. What if you have the older version of HTTP working? In that case, you have to set one more thing, because this will not work there. So you have to say set header, and you have to specify pragma, and the value for that would be no cache. If you are using, so this thing, if you are working on the older version, which is HTTP 1.0, but then if you are using any proxy server, then you have to say response.setHeader, and you have to say expires, because proxy server will have your cache. If you don't want to maintain the cache there, just say expires, and you have to mention the time 0. So for 0 minutes or 0 seconds, you have to mention there should be, I mean, that expiry is 0 seconds. The moment you access that page, it will be gone, right? For proxies. So 1.1 for HTTP, I mean, for 1.1, the first line, 1.0 second line, and for proxies, the third line. The same thing need to be done on all the pages, whichever pages you have. So in the videos.jsp also, I will do the same thing. Remove this. Okay, done. So that's how you can stop going, you can prevent from back button. So yeah, that's it from this video. I have talked about the back button working. Okay, now what else I want to do here? So there are some more changes. The changes, like, if you talk about this login Java, here we are checking statically, right? We are verifying the static coded text. Now the thing is, this doesn't look good, because the data should be coming from database. So again, we'll be doing that in one of the video, and then we'll also do JavaScript validation. Now I want to show you one more thing in this video, which is very, very important. Now in one of the comments I saw is they were talking about this thing, session.getAttribute username. So I'm starting writing username here, which means according to the comment, it says whenever a user logged in, it will allow all other users. Now that doesn't make any sense, because if you talk about session object, this is browser specific, which means the moment you change your browser, a new browser will have a new session object. When you are verifying here, you are verifying for one particular browser, right? Let me prove my point. So if I go back to Firefox, you can see if I log into the system, now I'm logged in. If I type here manually, if I type videos.jsp, I will be able to do that because I'm already logged in. But if I go to a different browser, example, if I go to Safari here, and if I enter the same text, if I say enter, you can see it is not opening videos.jsp, it is opening a login page, because this is a new browser, a new session, and of course, if you have a new session, it will send you to login page again, right? So yeah, that's it from this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked it, click on the like button and do subscribe for further videos.